Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're exploring something really universal. It's about those quiet internal shifts,
Hmm.
the ones that kind of blossom into profound personal change.
Right.
Our source for this journey is a really beautiful set of reflections. It's titled The Becoming, Your Journey to a New Life.
Mm. Sounds powerful.
It is. And our mission today is to, well, dig into this narrative, pull out those key nuggets of wisdom,
Yeah.
and really understand how deep transformation often isn't about some sudden dramatic overhaul.
No, not the Big Bang theory of change.
Exactly. It's more about tiny, consistent choices.
Hmm.
So get ready to discover how some of the biggest changes often start with just a whisper.
It's remarkable how this material taps into a feeling I think many of us know, that sense of being on autopilot.
Oh, definitely. Just going through the motion.
Yeah, like living life as a shadow. The source actually describes this specific state, a quiet, unbearable emptiness, feeling numb.
Numb, yeah.
Eh.
Even if you're not like actively unhappy.
Precisely. And that makes me wonder, how often do we maybe mistake that lack of obvious unhappiness for actual contentment? How often do we miss the signs?
That's such a critical question. And the source's take on it is, well, it's incredibly powerful. It wasn't some big crisis, right?
No, not at all.
It was the sheer ordinariness that became the problem. The author talks about staring at a perfectly normal room,
Yeah.
scattered clothes, a cold coffee, rain outside.
The everyday scene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And realizing the issue was how normal it all felt.
Yeah.
Too many days that looked exactly the same. Wake up, work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat.
That cycle. Ugh.
It paints this picture of walking through life like a shadow saying, I'm fine, when, well, you're not, pretending to care.
Mm-hmm.
And the really unsettling part, not even being unhappy, just numb.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't hurt like pain does, how do you even start to notice that kind of emotional flatline?
You've hit on something really crucial there. Numbness. It doesn't hurt. So it doesn't scream for attention like pain does.
Right. No alarm bells.
Exactly. It's often an absence of strong feeling, good or bad. Just
Yeah.
this quiet. And that can be way more insidious because it doesn't trigger us to act,
Yeah, it just creeps in.
which leads us right to the core turning point in the source.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there, quiet rain, opens a journal, asks two deceptively simple questions.
Okay.
What if this is all there is? And what if you never change?
Wow. Heavy questions.
And the answer hits with this, like immediate clarity if nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Simple, but yeah, cuts deep.
It's not just a catchy phrase, right? It's this stark realization that, no one was coming to fix things if you wanted change.
You had to be the one.
I had to be the one to begin. That really speaks to taking back control, doesn't it? That internal locus. But what do you think makes us wait for permission or some external push?
That's a great point about agency. I think maybe we expect change to be dramatic, like the movie montage moment.
Right, the big reveal.
But what this source shows so brilliantly is the real power is often in the mundane, the
Mhm.
tiny shifts you almost don't notice.
Mhm.
So the decision that night, it wasn't some grand gesture, not a big one, not a dramatic one, no plane tickets booked, no job quit.
Okay, so what was it?
It was a whispered promise.
Yeah.
It's time to change your life. But said differently, not like a cliche, but like a promise to myself, for myself.
Personal, internal.
Exactly. And the material really stresses starting incredibly small.
Mm.
Like the very next morning, the first different thing, waking at 6:30 on purpose.
Despite wanting to stay in bed, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Getting up, drinking cold water, opening the window, standing barefoot, just breathing the morning air. It wasn't, life-changing in that moment,
Okay.
but it was different. And that was enough. What strikes you about the power in that seemingly tiny first step?
Oh, it perfectly taps into, well, the neuroscience of how we form habits. That first different act, it's not about instant transformation.
Right.
It's about carving out a new neural pathway, just signaling to your brain, hey, this is possible, we can do this. Setting a new pattern, even if it's just one tiny thread.
Building block.
Exactly. And building on that, the source then talks about this crucial exercise, making a list. but not your typical to-dos or goals.
Okay.
A list of who do I want to be.
Different focus.
Totally different. Not about realism, not about what others think, just pure desire. Things like wake up with purpose, feel proud of how I spend my time, read more books and less comments, take care of my body, not to look good, but to feel strong, create, speak kindly to myself, and ultimately the big one, feel alive.
Yeah.
And this small act, just writing it down, it ignited this little spark of hope, just, enough to try again tomorrow. So how does defining who you want to be rather than just what you do, how does that shift your whole approach?
That reframing
Mm-hmm.
from doing to being,
Mm.
it's incredibly potent, isn't it? It centers on identity, not just tasks.
Exactly.
And as the source puts it so powerfully, change doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't knock on your door announcing itself.
No grand entrance.
It whispers,
Mm-hmm.
quietly, softly. The whole process really kicked off by just becoming aware.
Awareness. Step one.
Yeah. For the first time, actually paying attention to the self-talk, to how we fill silence with distractions, to hearing yourself say, I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Right. And the insight is that this small awareness gave power. Because when you notice, you can choose. I mean, I think we've all had those moments, haven't we? Where just noticing something shifts everything. Have you found that?
Oh, absolutely. Awareness it's the prerequisite for choice. Without it, you're just running the old programs, aren't you?
Completely on autopilot.
And this awareness then, it naturally led to these small, quiet rituals. The source mentions simple things. Listening to birds instead of grabbing the phone first thing.
Little things.
Lighting a candle before journaling, stretching for just 5 minutes, drinking tea slowly, like really tasting it. No distractions.
Being present.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the author stresses, I wasn't fixing myself. I was returning to myself.
Oh, I like that distinction. Return.
Isn't it good? And every evening, the simple, powerful question, what did I do today that honored the life I want to live?
Wow. That's a check-in.
And the answers, often super simple. I drank water. I went for a walk. Crucially, I didn't criticize myself.
Ah, the self-talk again.
Because as the source says so beautifully, change isn't made of big moments. It's made of small, repeated choices. That just underlines the power of consistent microactions, right?
It really does. And it completely pushes back against our cultural obsession with like grand sweeping changes.
Right. The overnight success myth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, this journey, it's not always smooth sailing. The source gets real about encountering that internal resistance.
Yeah, yes, the old voice.
That old voice of doubt trying to pull you back. You're not doing enough. This won't last. You always start and never finish. We all know that voice.
We do indeed. So how did the author handle it?
What's fascinating is the response wasn't to fight it or argue. It was just this whispered mantra, maybe, but I'm still here.
Acceptance and presence.
Yeah, this idea of showing up not with perfection, but with presence. That's key. The narrative details these small, persistent acts, like just 5 more minutes when you want to quit, or just show up once.
Breaking it down.
Reclaiming agency by walking not for the step count, but just for the rhythm. Saying no to people who drain you. Saying yes to things that felt scary but also felt alive.
Yeah.
It's very practical. Building self-efficacy bit by bit.
So how do we cultivate that I'm still here resilience when that self-doubt inevitably pipes up?
Well, it often comes down to that cognitive reframing you mentioned. Consciously challenging those negative thoughts. And the source really highlights this profound shift towards using your voice.
Yeah.
Not just out loud, but internally too.
Okay, how so?
Learning to say, I don't like that. To say, I need space. To say, I deserve more.
Setting boundaries. Essential.
Absolutely. And even more importantly, learning to speak kindly to myself. Using affirmations that sound simple but are actually profoundly impactful.
Like what?
Things like, you're doing your best. You're allowed to take your time. You don't have to prove anything today.
Self-compassion. Powerful stuff.
These were the real building blocks of the new life. Not a new city, not a new job, but a new relationship with myself. That self-compassion piece, It's often the hardest, isn't it? But maybe the most critical.
It really is. It underpins everything else. What's one small way, thinking about it now, you could practice speaking more kindly to yourself today?
That practice,
Yeah.
it's transformative.
Yeah.
Then the source dives into a really profound question the author asks themselves. What would happen if I gave this everything?
Whoa, all in.
Yeah, not half effort, not when I have time, but everything. The author admits, yeah, that thought was scary. Of course it was.
Fear of failure, fear of change.
Probably both. But underneath the fear, there was freedom. This idea of fully leaning in, not waiting until you feel perfectly ready. Because, spoiler,
You never do.
you never do. So true. But just starting to live as if you were already becoming that person you wanted to be, that's such a powerful catalyst, right? Almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but in a good way.
Absolutely. Acting as if. What hidden fears do you think might be holding you, the listener, back from giving your own becoming everything?
It's a real challenge to our basic wiring, isn't it? Our brain wants safety, not growth sometimes.
Comfort zone trap.
Exactly. But the rewards are huge. The source describes this one specific morning full of intentional acts. No snooze button, cold shower,
Okay.
yikes, a horrible green smoothie that apparently made them laugh,
Yeah.
10 minutes of just silence, wearing clothes they loved,
Sure.
speaking honestly in a meeting,
Wow. Concrete actions.
saying no to something that wasn't aligned, even dancing alone in the living room.
Love that.
And the result, it wasn't perfection. It wasn't like, boom, transformed. The result was feeling proud.
Proud. That's significant.
Proud of trying, proud of showing up, proud of not waiting anymore.
Mm.
And this leads to the ultimate shift, the becoming.
The core concept.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens, the source says, in hundreds of small moments. Moments of choosing yourself, not giving up, sitting with the discomfort.
Embracing the process.
And the result, walking through life with my head just a little higher. Not because everything's perfect or figured out, but because I was no longer hiding from it. It's just a testament to the sheer cumulative power of those small choices.
That shift from hiding to owning your journey, yeah, that's incredibly powerful. And if we zoom out to the bigger picture, the goal wasn't some perfect, flawless life.
No, definitely not.
It was a real one. The author describes seeing themselves reflected in a cafe window. Content, peaceful, smiling, not for show, but for what I had survived.
That gives me chills.
Right. The version of me that once lived on autopilot was gone, replaced by someone present, someone awake, someone becoming.
Becoming, there it is again.
It wasn't just changing life, it was rebuilt it. Brick by brick, boundary by boundary, morning by morning.
Methodical, intentional.
And crucially, without applause, without validation, without anyone saying, you're doing great. Why? Because I stopped waiting for permission. I give it to myself.
Giving yourself permission, that hits hard.
It really emphasizes that internal validation, doesn't it? Ultimate self-reliance. What does it truly mean for you listening to give yourself permission to rebuild without needing that pat on the back from others?
It means reclaiming your own power, right? Defining success your way. This whole deep dive into the becoming, it reveals this journey of just showing up for the life you actually want. Stopping the things that drain you, ending the chase for people who don't really see you, creating more than you just consume, practicing self-praise, trusting your own timing.
The whole shift in orientation.
And the outcome, becoming that version of yourself you dreamed about. Not perfect, not finished, but free.
Free. It's the goal.
Free to feel, free to try, free to fail, and yeah, free to grow. So what areas in your own life are you maybe craving that kind of freedom?
This whole narrative, it leaves us with such a vital, liberating truth, doesn't it? No one is coming to rescue you.
Oof. Blunt but true.
No one is going to wake you up and hand you your dream life on a silver plate. The source is emphatic. You are the one.
You're the one.
You are the person you've been waiting for. You're your own turning point. It suggests maybe life doesn't need to be, burned down completely.
Yeah.
Maybe it just needs to be remembered that you've always had the fire, you just forgot how to use it.
I love that. Remembering the fire within. So for your final thought from this deep dive, don't wait. Don't wait for that mythical perfect time.
Right? Not until you're thinner, richer, smarter, or calmer, or more confident. That time never comes.
No. This wisdom is clear. Start with what you have, where you are, right now. It calls for simple actions, actionable steps.
Like what?
Get out of bed, drink a glass of water, stand in the sun, move your body. Practical things. Say no. Say yes. Say I love you. Say I'm proud of me. Use your voice.
Do the things.
Do the hard thing. Do the brave thing. Do the next thing. And crucially, if your voice shakes, let it shake.
It's okay to be scared.
If your knees tremble, let them. But go anyway, because on the other side of that fear
Is freedom.
is freedom, and on the other side of doubt,
Is the life that belongs to you.
remember that core message. It's time to change your life. Not tomorrow. Today. You are ready. You are worthy. You are becoming.